Yo, yo, what up? It's your boy Jay Bongers.
What up? What up? It's your boy Cell. Huh?
Yeah, and this is the CapCity podcast, man. We back?
Back at it, man. Once
Yeah.
again.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, man. How about yourself?
Man, feeling great, man.
Had a good day?
Yes, sir. Always.
Yes, sir, man.
Gotta make it a good day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
No doubt. So today, man, we want to talk about, just pursuing your careers, being a creative, what challenges do we face?
Right. Yeah.
Right? What are the challenges that we face chasing our dreams? Just trying to give a gift back to the world that, we were blessed with.
Right. Even just learning how to even do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the struggles of a creative person, right? We'll speak from the perspective of being creatives mainly in music, but it applies to all fields, man.
Sure.
So what comes to mind when you think about that, man? About the struggles of a creative or just when you're walking that creative path?
Well, you got to think about finances, man. That's a main thing that one would think about is, you know, if I'm chasing my dreams and creating art, if I'm not a trust fund baby or like got some crazy money in the bank,
Right.
how I'm gonna pay my bills?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What is it that I can do, to survive while I'm doing this?
Right.
That's not gonna take so much from me where I can't even create art.
Right.
You know?
Right. So basically, the moment that you start trying to be a creative, your creativity is kind of automatically, it becomes a bill at a certain stage, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Something you have to maintain.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, because when you're creating, yeah, you're putting out before you can even make anything back. You know, you're putting out time, and what they say, time is money.
Facts.
Time is money. So every minute, second that goes by, and you're not making money, you're losing money. It's not that you're just not making money.
Right.
You're actually losing money. You know what I'm saying? So,
You're putting a significant amount of your money
yeah.
into purely, I gotta buy this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get that program, buy that piece of equipment, take this course, even the time. I gotta sit here and learn this program and these plugins.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like
that. And people, that's like it's like going to college, right? You know, you're going to these classes, taking these classes. You're not making money from the classes right away.
Right.
Until you get that job. You know what I mean? Until you learn that big thing from from what you learned.
Right.
Spending all that time and money.
Right. After years of study.
Yeah, after years of studying. And some people, don't have to study too long and something happens, but there's some people who, are studying for 15, 20 years before the world recognizes it.
And even that brings up another thought too, which is there's people that have like natural inborn talent / God-given talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have a certain amount of proficiency just picking it up, right? Then there's somebody that wants to learn it, has zero ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because a lot of times some of us creatives take for granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
The natural gifts that we have. And then somebody who's not really, and you see creative people who are like, they want to do it, they didn't naturally have it. So they kind of had to study it, right? We take it for granted sometimes, and then some of those folks can just surpass you.
Yeah.
Because practice makes perfect, right?
Consistency is key.
So you can't just lay down your creative passion and leave it behind for 5 years and expect to come back still popping. Like,
yeah. And there's a thing, man, like with speaking on what you was just talking about, people who are just extra talented like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It might come easy to them,
Exactly.
and they in their mind they just think it's like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're kind of passive with it, opposed to someone who's not as talented, and they're like, "Yo, I want to be as talented as this person."
Exactly.
And they gotta really, really study, really go hard. So
And then they see too how effortless it appears when there's certain people that are doing it, and that makes them more like even more focused because they know if they don't have that, and that person I think is more dangerous in some ways than the naturally talented person, at least the one that takes it for granted, right? That person that just goes, I'm about to get stupid focused, and I got to be able to do what that person does. It might take me an extra hour, but I got to get to that. And they're going to be able to do it in 30 minutes. And then you stop for 4 or 5 years, and now it takes you 2 days. What you could do in an hour. So the time. Time is a big, big part of being a creative, right? Because you know what they say? That that artists, like painters, design space, right? But musicians, we design space and time, right? So not that anyone is larger or smaller, but you know, right? That's the good stuff. Good stuff. You know, there's a bunch of different struggles of being a creative. So finance, time, belief. That's another one too.
Now there's 2 parts to that. It's self-belief, and it's other people believe in you. You know,
that first one is just as hard as the second one.
The first one, a lot of the time, stems from the second one. You know.
Okay, that's a great point. Yo, that reminds me of something because this is all on the same topic. Did you ever see that Kanye West documentary that they put out called Genius?
Yes, I seen some of it. I didn't get to see the whole thing. Oh, you talking about the 3-part joint, right?
Yeah,
I did see it. Yeah.
First of all, that was fire.
Yeah.
Except I didn't like the last part where they were like, "He's crazy now.
Yeah.
Look how insane he is." I'm like, stop.
Yeah. After all this y'all did with these, now he's just crazy.
Now he's just crazy. He's not a good friend. You know, like what the fuck's wrong? Anyway, all right. But within that, talking about self-belief and other people believing in you, the support that he got from his mother was otherworldly. It was beautiful because honestly, it's the kind of support that somebody as a creative you would dream of. She was spitting verses with them.
Crazy.
Rapping them word for word. She was like, you remember that one you had, Kanye? And she would just go
rapping
into
his
the
lines. Like, yo.
What?
I was like, man, please.
He had no choice but to be Kanye.
Yeah. Any y'all out there, man. Any y'all, you know, 2 things. Any y'all who not getting the support from your parents like that, it's okay.
Facts.
You know. But that right there, we know that makes a whole world of difference.
Enormous.
Which comes to my second point. If you got kids, be their supporters. Be their supporters.
Yes. You know, support them and speak positivity into what they're doing. You know, this is the thing. As an older person, you think of it's so easy to get the upper hand on somebody younger. So somebody trying to do something, like some kid trying to learn to play the flute, it's cute when they're bad and inspiring when they're good. But when they're bad, you gotta support them and tell them that you speak life into them because the little jokes that you make might be funny to you and your dumb friends sipping your wine coolers, but it could be crushing this kid's spirit. And just you believing. And again, I'm using Kanye as a great example because not only did he become who he became, he inspired a lot of people. Most people that do hip hop and aspire to be like iconic that don't do hip hop at all, he's one of their people that's on their like vision board.
Crazy.
When you see that documentary, if you haven't seen it, go watch it tonight.
Genius.
Forget about part 3. Part 1 and 2 is where the great stuff is at. Man, that support, I remember everybody I talked to after that, and we'll move on to a different thing, but everybody I talked to that was a creative after that came out, that was the number one thing. Like, man, the way his mother
supported him,
is to the point to where no matter what he came across that where somebody wasn't believing in him, it had no or probably very little effect on his self-esteem. Self-esteem. So I think that shows you that, like you just said earlier, those two things go hand in hand. If you believe in yourself 1,000%, you can make it.
Yeah.
If somebody's supporting you big time and you don't believe in yourself at all, no, probably not gonna really make it anywhere near as far as you could. If you got both of those,
crazy.
Yeah. So support is big.
Yeah. See, that's why my shout out to my dad, man. He always supported me, man.
That's beautiful.
Except for this one time, man.
Okay.
All right, so he got me this drum. That the first instrument, real instrument that I got as a kid. I probably like 5 years old.
Okay.
Was a drum set.
Okay. 5. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got me a little kitty drum set, man. I banged that thing and drove him crazy. I put on little talent shows in the living room for him.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying? I drove him crazy, man. You know what he did? He made that drum set into firewood, bro.
What? No. Oh my God. Listen.
And then years later, I asked him. I asked him for another drum set at like 13 for Christmas.
Okay.
Maybe a little younger than that.
Like 8 years. Okay.
Yeah. A little younger. Yeah, I probably was like 10. I probably was like 9 or 10.
Okay.
And shout out to my boy Bobo, man. You know, he was nice on the drums, man. We used to play in his backyard, so I was like, I want a drum set again. Right. My dad was like, nope.
No.
But he got me a piano.
Okay.
And that was probably the best thing he could do, man. I taught myself that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I come home every day from school and I'll spend at least an hour on that piano. Nobody told me to. I just did it.
You just did it on your own.
I put a radio up there and I'm listening to songs and learning how to play the chords and learning the songs. And that's how I learned how to play piano, bro. And that brought me into all the stuff that we doing now, bro.
That's
fire.
That's crazy.
If it wasn't for that, like shit, I don't know where I'd be.
See, and that goes to show you there's different ways to support. So yeah, you don't like the drums, you can burn them up, but at least get them a keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
AJ with it. We had like a barrel in the backyard where, like, you know, them New York City barrels.
Yeah,
that's always on fire.
The bum fires.
Had one of those. He threw that whole drum set in that thing.
That's crazy. But see, that's another struggle of a creative, right? Like, we don't really know. That's it's not funny, but it's super funny because, like, the way you ended that story was like, wow. Well, I mean, I guess he had to burn the drums up. Wow. But even with that, self-belief, believing, feeling supported, he still went and bought the keyboard, the piano, right? So that's beautiful. Another thing, though, too, with us, you said the financial part of it. The fact that as you get better, that financial part actually increases. Like, you're paying more because you're finding out about the cutting edge stuff you never knew about until you met this person or saw that video. You're like, wait, what?
Man, you know how much I spend in plugins recently, man?
Come on, man.
Bought these. Shout out to Slate Digital, anyways, man. You know these VSX headphones. I'm not gonna cap.
They fire?
The first time I used them,
right?
Remember I told you I mixed this record. I think I told you, bro, but I mixed this record like over 30 times, bro. And I got these VSX headphones.
No, you told me about that.
Yeah, and I got them, you know, close as really, really close. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta make a few more tweaks.
Yeah.
And it's good, man.
That's the part I didn't have was the update, because you did tell me that you bought them for that reason, and that's dope.
Yeah, them joints is dope, man. Shout out to Slate, man. You know, throw some stuff my way so I could talk about it, man. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth, but you know what I'm saying? You know, with your track record, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
See this?
Mucho dinero.
Cut that 3 ways, though. Don't forget about me. All right? I'll be there, too.
Cut it to CapCity, man. We lit.
Right. I'm giving thumbs up to everything. Came with a check.
Right.
Works great to me. Best on the market.
Joint falling off the side of your head.
Right. That sounds going out. No, but you know,
it worked great.
What you're saying is actually another thing. a struggle of the creative. Remember how things were before all these VSTs were available?
Yeah, man. Nothing but hardware, like
Technology.
yeah.
You know how many? Imagine that. Think about that. You probably have a fun time if you really thought about, if you could remember all the things that you would thought about when you were using a software and going, damn, if this could do this, if I could do this automatically. Now there's so many plugins that do a lot of the stuff that we used to dream about. Like, I can trigger any chord that I want with this plugin, and I can route it through any other like sound or VST that I have. Crazy. Amazing.
Man, I remember the first time I seen Pro Tools.
Okay, talk about it, man.
I looked at it and I learned, these are the words that I spoke verbatim. I said, yo, I never get to figure how to figure that out, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'll
crazy.
never figure that out. Man.
That's crazy to me because as somebody who, I mean, when I just meeting you off bat, you knew all the keyboard shortcuts. It was just nothing to you. Yeah. So how long did it take you, if you had to say, before you felt close to that, kind of comfortable, like, damn, I'm really kind of killing it with this?
I would say a few months of consistently every day at it. You know what I mean? That's when I started like, oh, I'm okay, but I still was bad.
Right.
I mean, I still wasn't good. It took me years to actually get good.
Right.
You know, but where I thought I was starting to get good, yeah, it was a few months. Me reading books. There wasn't no YouTube. That's telling my age and shit.
But that's another thing.
I think it might have been YouTube. If there was a YouTube, it was so brand new. It wasn't like you couldn't find information on YouTube. You know what I mean? It was like it wasn't for that. Like now,
it was entertainment primarily.
Yeah. Now you could YouTube.
You can learn pretty much anything.
Just like Google. It's a video version of Google. Kind of
right.
Like,
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
So, yeah, but I remember working off of the tapes. Analog 4-tracks. I had a speed bag in the corner of my room, you know, and I took the bag off and I took a wire hanger and made some makeshift microphone holder and I took a DJ mic and I hung it from there. And that was the microphone. That was the booth. It wasn't even a booth. It was just in the corner.
Just a freestanding mic.
Just hanging from the speed bag. And that's where cats, would come and record, where me and my homies would record. And I had I had an analog 4-track at first. So you put the cassette tape in and you could record over it 4 times and it'll play everything that you record. So, you got 4 tracks of vocals and I'll take the instrumental and I'll record 4 tracks over the, you know what I'm saying? Whatever instrumental it is. For each part, you know what I'm saying? So if it was multiple people, obviously, each person would get 4 tracks as long as it's in different spots.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, man, I remember having to record a hook in one of those. No, I got a digital one afterwards. And record a hook. And then, since I didn't have Pro Tools or knew anything about Pro Tools, I was doing everything, with the analog gear. I had the little digital multi-track recorder, recorded the vocals in that, sampled the hook. I mix it up, like, do my little quick mix on the digital recorder, and then I'll acapella that, sample that into the MPC.
Wow. And
then when I was doing the recording, I would take all that, and every time the hook come, on the instrumental track, I trigger it on the MPC so it'll play it. Then I have that recorded, and then we'll go back and record the vocals.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? And
the hook
get multiple tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
And it's funny because you saying that, for me, like, when I started, because again, we're talking about the financial part of it, I didn't have money or somebody backing me. I didn't know anybody at that when I first started that had equipment or a studio. So it was just pure off of inspiration and like, I'm curious about whatever this is.
Yeah.
So everything was digital for me.
Yeah.
So I relied heavily on, I did eventually get like, a synthesizer and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was FL Studio, Fruity Loops at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and I was going to AIU, and I took my book voucher money, and I took that money and went to Guitar Center. I said, fuck books.
Fuck the books. Let me go get the gear.
I went to Guitar Center. I spent, I don't know, $200 on FL Studio, on Fruity Loops, the producer edition, and I just taught myself how to use it. Mm-hmm. And, I just knew, I say, bro, they're going to make high quality VSTs. It's at some point in time, you're not going to need to buy the physical keyboard. Mm-hmm. There will be a point in time where the sounds will be always superior on the hardware, but eventually, this is going to catch up. Yeah. And then, bro, it didn't take long.
Yeah, it didn't.
Because I'm talking, I don't like to tell my age either, but I'm talking early 2000s when I had FL stuff, Fruity Loops, you know what I'm saying? And maybe like 4 or 5 years later.
What was it, like 2008?
Whenever like Nexus, and a few years later you get Omnisphere, but before that you have, what's the other one? Complete.
Yeah.
Fam.
Complete be having all them those sounds, bro, too. All of them actually. Not Nexus and Omnisphere. I feel like those are the three you must have.
But then there's other ones that are just as fire, like Pigments. Pigments is fire.
I never played with Pigments. Man.
Well, after this, I'll show you Pigments.
Okay.
Pigments is fire, bro. And there's a bunch of other ones, man. Like nowadays, you can subscribe. Like back in the day, there used to, when you had like an Omnisphere, it's like, well, yeah, if you got the $400. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the little expansion packs you're gonna want to buy, right? Mm-hmm. If you ain't got it, then you gotta go online. You gotta hit the black market.
Facts.
I mastered the black market.
Facts.
Sorry, too late.
Sorry,
it's gotta be a statute of limitations now.
Right.
That's my old life. I buy stuff now,
right.
But I was going everywhere. Here, you want it? Like somebody was bringing it up.
Gave it to me.
Yeah, bro. Hey, man. Here's Nexus. I bought Nexus. I gave everybody I knew. I gave them the installation disc. Yeah. Right. Y'all never really pay me back, but it's cool. Actually, no. The best part. This is another thing. Speaking of a creative, and I know we're talking music stuff, but this is again, it applies to everything, especially this next thing, inspiration. Now, nowadays, I still draw off inspiration, of course, but, sometimes you just do it as a reflex. Like, you do it as I need to create something. I can tell I need to. It's not that I heard a beat that just set me off,
It's just in your nature. That's what you do. So you have to do it.
So you have to do.
You are a creator. You have to create. If you don't, you will be depressed. You will be feeling all kinds of ways. You don't even know why you felt like it.
Won't even know. All you had to do was, whatever it is, write down a couple of rhymes, write a poem, paint something, whatever it is, you need to be a creative. Or sometimes just being around other creatives and having conversations about creating is also good too. Yep. So, and everybody, no matter who you are, everybody is a creator. Yeah. Everybody has a creative side to them, and when you don't nurture it, then you're like out of balance.
You definitely got to find that creative thing. But we're talking about the struggles of a creator, right? So we're talking about inspiration. Inspiration doesn't always exist, for a creative.
That's right.
Sometimes we have to go seek it. Sometimes we have to do what we can, or sometimes we gotta do nothing, to get the inspiration. But people who are not creators, they think that creators are like robots, like we can create on demand. Like,
right.
No, it doesn't work like that. No. Like, if somebody doesn't feel like writing or painting or doing what it is, like we're not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Or it's gonna impact the
Yeah.
product.
It's gonna impact the product. It's
Right.
gonna impact your health. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know.
Or you can, and even so, when you say impact the health, I might, okay, because sometimes, as you know, creatives are bound by whatever contract obligation. Somebody hired me to do something,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm signed to a contract where I have to do this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going through some real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got muscle memory, so I'm 40% is always going to be taken care of.
Right.
The 60%, I might have to chuck everything to the side
Mm-hmm.
and make myself do it, and that is costly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that costs you a lot internally when you're not in that vibe.
Yeah.
But then it's the other part of it that's kind of interesting too, is that sometimes it can end up being like therapeutic, where you're like, I really had to go through, I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because really, when you're a creative, no matter what you do, you are gonna experience what it's like to be a tortured artist. Throughout the life cycle of being a creative person.
Yeah.
Even if you don't create, there's some people that are not creative, like in the actual I make art.
Yeah.
You could just be a connoisseur. Like, I source the highest quality movies. I source the highest quality. I'm a DJ. I don't make the music, but I know by listening what the crowd is going to respond to.
Yeah.
That gift,
That's crazy.
that's actually, in some ways, I look at that as a higher gift than other versions of creativity, because I can make beats all day, but I might only like the 70%, maybe even less than that, 45% of what the field offers in music varieties.
Mm-hmm.
That DJ is like, I know it all. You put me anywhere, any group, any age range, I'm gonna get it popping.
I know what to play.
Yeah. Different level stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to all the DJs out there, man.
Facts. Big shout out.
Mm-hmm.
What about when it comes to being a deep thinker? Do you think that's also something that kind of gets in your way as a creative?
As a creative, yeah, I can see that, but I'm a Gemini, man. So I'm always like, that's pretty much all I know about myself. Is I'm a deep thinker. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I don't know if it's just me, because the Gemini trait, or if it's the creator's space. But most Geminis are creators anyway, so
right,
like
that's fact.
That could be hand in hand type thing. Like, you know what I mean? It could be just that.
Yeah. As a Pisces are deep thinkers too.
Yeah.
And I know that to be one of the traits. So definitely, and even with that, I've really don't think I've ever met another Pisces that wasn't a creative as well. So it might be like a shared trait across certain personality types.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I think that the deep thinking part, of course, obviously we know that it has the benefits, right? But I think a part of deep thinking can easily branch off into another struggle, which is procrastination.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know what they say, that saying, study long, study wrong. Right? You ever heard that? Huh? Study long, study wrong.
Explain study long, study wrong. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, if you are just sitting there thinking about it, right, over and over again, it's almost like if you want to approach somebody, like if I see a girl that I like and I'm sitting there in my head the whole time, well, what should I say? Should I walk over there and do this? I should buy her a drink. Maybe not. She might think I'm an alcoholic if I leave with drink. Like, you studying long.
Yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically overthinking.
Yeah, overthinking, which is leading to you to procrastinate. It's almost like, even matter of fact, to make it even more relatable,
yourself out of stuff.
Talking yourself out of stuff, and then we also call that perfectionism, right? And I know that when we know, even just from being in different creative groups and stuff, that takes place all the time. Like, you can overthink yourself out of putting things out because you're like, it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
everybody around you's like, bro, when they hear this, and you like, yeah, it's almost ready,
Mm-hmm.
and you just keep thinking and thinking and thinking. The other part of it, this is what makes it so fucked up. It's so many sides to it. Then there's the fear of success.
Yeah. Woo.
It's all goes together.
Sheesh.
Speak about what do you feel about that?
Fear of success, man. I mean, that's definitely a real thing, man. Success is scary, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things. Think about it. For years and years, you're doing all you can to get to a certain place, and then once you start seeing it, like, you know, happening for you,
Right.
it gets kind of scary because you're like, yo, I'm finally here. Or, you know, there's the other side of it where you start the overthinking thing. You thinking about what success might look like or might not look like.
Right.
What might happen, you know, if you are successful at the goal or goals that you're going after. And you start fearing all the other things that come with it, would come with the success. You know, haters and like
responsibility.
Yep. People depending on you. You know, and you get scared of that, and stop. You know, kind of like back up from. Especially when people actually believe in you, like, you know.
And I was just gonna say, doesn't that tends to affect your self belief, right? Where there's people behind you, you got people are backing you, financing you, funding you, right? And not only that, they're doing the other stuff that you can't do currently. They got the relationship, so they're connecting the dots for you out there in the field. And you sitting here going, because it's funny when you say that, because imagine you have the product. The product is great, right?
Yep.
You're this incredible instrumentalist, right? But now you're thinking, yeah, but I thought that I would be like in like the shape like The Rock by the time I got famous.
Got it.
So now you're thinking too much about the outside external stuff. And people are like, bro, that
stuff that no one got to do with.
That doesn't matter, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing and then work on that, and then you'll get but because like it's everything is about, you know, you start thinking about something totally different. You're not even an expert in.
Right.
And it's all based on your fear. Right?
Imagine you get that hit record, right? And you only got 10 songs in the vault. You still insecure. You're like, yo, you know, I'm just playing with this.
Right.
And you get a song that actually hits.
Right.
Imagine what type of fear there will be there, bro. You ain't ready for the stage
That's
yet.
crazy.
You ain't ready for nothing yet, but you gotta fucking smash.
You got a smash single that's worldwide. Like
worldwide.
Global hit. You know, it's funny because I was watching a interview earlier today, and it was actually Bryson Tiller. And it's crazy because he was talking about the success, you know, as like just a 22-year-old when Don't blew up and Trap Soul. I mean, really, he inspired or helped to contribute to a wave. Especially if you were in the South, you already know like the Trap Soul type of sound was already bubbling.
Yeah.
But he's like the face of it, right? He blew up, and he said he was depressed. Like he was in a bad depression.
Why? Did he say?
Part, you know, just like personal things that were going on, and I think it's like he lost somebody in his life, and you know he wasn't really ready for the success part of it. But I think that's all a part of it. It's like the fear you expected to show up these places and be a vibe, and but you got real stuff going on at home, and you're like, bro, like I'm not ready for any of this, you know. That's a big part of it, man. No matter who you are, you could be a painter, right? Somebody is like, oh, we're going to give you a gallery opening, and these people are coming, and the reviewers are going to come. And that just might sound great to them, but you're like, they're going to be judging my work? You know what I'm saying? My peers will be here, and the people I look up to.
They're gonna actually see me.
What if they think I suck?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. What about the need to be alone? You're a creator. Do you think do you have that? Is that something that you relate to? Like,
I do relate to that, but I don't know if that's from being a creator or being a Gemini, because I definitely am a loner, man.
yeah.
You know,
Do you think that being a loner, because I mean I'm googling struggles of a creative person, and that's one thing that came up. So I guess it must be pretty common amongst creatives. And I've always heard creative people across all, I've heard multiple people say this,
that they need to be alone.
that there's times when they definitely need to be alone. And even just as because sometimes you need that space to just recharge. Sometimes you're overstimulated. Sometimes somebody else's energy is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just off. Or because I think another part of us being creatives is that we have a way of interpreting and interacting with emotion at a whole different level than your normal
person. Yeah.
So your emotions run at a certain level, maybe a little bit higher, and I think you need if you're empathic, that means you can feel other people's. Do you feel like that, like where you can pick up on other people's like energy, right?
Yep.
And not only like can you like feel like something might be off, but you can when somebody is talking about what's going on, I can feel it. It's in you.
Yeah, it's so bad for me, bro. Sometimes somebody don't even gotta talk about it, and I feel it. It's like a gift and a curse.
100% a gift and a curse, because it makes you somebody where you're like you can be a whole different level of compassionate. You tap into stuff like agape love, like unconditional vibes.
Yep.
But then until you learn to like control it more, you just anywhere you go, it's almost like you're an amplifier for whatever strong vibes are out there.
Yeah.
And you definitely need to, yeah, baby, I love you, but I gotta go over here for a minute. I need an afternoon by myself.
Yeah.
I'm just at the bar. I'm right here. Anything going on, hit me up. I gotta go to this coffee shop and just sit there with my headphones on.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. And sometimes you need that solitude to even create, to even be a creator.
Yes.
You don't always want a crowd of people around you when you're creating. I like to create alone,
I'm with you.
One or two people, you know what I'm saying, in the vibe, maybe here and there. Right. You know what I mean? But I like to personally create by myself. I like to be in my own zone, my own space, I don't even want somebody in the next room. You know what I mean? I just want to be all alone when I create, and then when I get it to a certain place, then I start inviting other opinions and other ears and other
collaborators.
Yeah. Even other opinions, just.
I'm the same way. Like even when I'm, I come across records and go like, oh, I want to flip that. Like sometimes I just feel like I'm operating from a different space when I'm there, and I'm zoning in on the different places that I want. Let me chop this. We move this over here. Move this up.
Because there's no guidance there. There's no say so. It's like, okay, this is just me being me. Going to search for what I like.
Right.
Going to listen to what I like.
Or even I'm just taking chances because what I'm doing while I'm trying to just find it, I'm actually just allowing it to be found. I'm not trying to force it.
Right.
So sometimes that takes like, no, not yet. That's a very obvious thing. Yes, I can take that piece. But there's something else here. I know it is. And then you go 40 minutes in, you're like, that's it. That's the 4-bar loop. That sounds like an 8-bar loop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that also is 3 different parts of the song. And you might think I took a 4-bar phrase. And until you come back and find out what I did,
you're like, oh man. Once you hear it, you're like, oh.
You're like, oh, this dude.
Genius.
What? Yeah. That's the part. That's because when you're creative, you automatically you learn like certain formats, so it's easier to go like da, 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 and then put something out there. But that doesn't. There's a point where it's almost like whatever you can pull off is actually what's starting to inspire you.
Yeah.
Like
It's not fun when you're not challenging yourself now.
yes, because the challenge used to be, I heard this record and I'm like, I don't know what they sampled. I don't know who this artist is. I don't even know if this is soul, jazz, whatever it is. I gotta go find something that gives me that feeling. Yeah. And you're starting from absolute zero. This is great, man. It's great. It's great. So what about this though? Do you think that your mind never slows down, or maybe can have trouble slowing down as a creative?
My mind is, I'm just speaking about myself, but I feel like this is for most creators out there. It's like like, my mind runs so much, bro. It literally tires me out, bro. I be tired, like physically. You know what I'm saying? From my mind thinking so much. Never stopping. Never stopping planning. Never stopping thinking about the next move. It's to the point where if I put a movie on, I can't even really enjoy movies because one or two things are going to happen. I'm either going to start working during the movie and not be able to really watch the whole thing.
Right.
Or I'm going to go to sleep because I'm so tired. I'm going to, not go to sleep, but fall asleep during the movie, So it's hard for me to watch full movies. Like, it's hard for me to do anything, real that's outside of working or, thinking about something, unless you got another person with you, you know what I'm saying? That could take your mind and keep you, you know what I'm saying? Keep your mind stimulated.
Yes.
And
there's that balance, because though we might feel a need to be alone, we also like to
we do.
be around other people. We like to be social. We love communicating our ideas to other people
who would listen,
who are receptive to them, of course.
Right.
But if you're not, we don't even. It doesn't even come to our minds to get into those conversations with somebody. We can tell right away. But you need that balance. Like, sometimes I need somebody else's creative spirit that's something completely different from mine, right? Like, oh, she's big into dancing and she likes to go to live spots and listen to music, and I might not care about that, by myself. But now I'm out here with her or this group of people, and now it's like, all right, okay, this is cool. I needed this, Yeah, but that's another thing too. If your mind's running all the time, you do need to find a balance. I think maybe some other creative thing. For me, I could if I can find a good TV series or a movie to watch. Sometimes it is hard to just let myself do that. More and more, it's been a little bit harder. But whenever I do, something always comes out of it. Yeah. A quote from the show, I'm like, wow, that's dope. Music from the soundtrack that I might just like or might want to go go ahead and loop that up. So I think if you look at it like this is a creative thing, it makes it easier for your mind to go, okay, I'm going to get some inspiration from this somehow. And that helps you a little bit. But yeah, man, we could talk about this stuff till we're blue in the face, man.
Yes, sir.
I do want to talk about one last thing before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Authority. I know me from very young and even into adulthood.
For real?
A problem with authority?
Oh. I thought you said you... Never mind, go ahead.
I know what you about to say, man.
No, go ahead.
You're stupid. All right. No, but yeah, having a problem with authority. I've always had a problem with authority.
Yeah. Me too.
And I don't know where it came from, but you're like, oh, no, yeah, because you're a color outside the lines person in whatever way that is, right? Or you're also somebody that, people hate, what adults don't like?
What?
If you're the kid that can say things that controls the classroom.
Oh, no, they don't like that.
Some teachers, and those are the ones I feel like must be the creative ones, they kind of nurture it and they know how to help you tap into the better part of it, or they just let it ride. and they're just super cool about it.
Yeah.
Other ones, boy, they hate it. I'm getting written up. I'm getting sent to the principal's office.
That's the word. They hate it. Like haters, like how haters hate. Like jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they remember that other creative kid that used to make them feel like that back in the day. It's like, you're grown now. Like, nurture me. Like, why would you want to get me? Do you know that my parents use belts? Like, don't call them. Because I made a joke and people laughed.
Right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, if you're a creative, you're going through it on some level. We support you.
Yeah.
We know what it's like, and you're not alone. And I also think another good thing for creative people to do is you find people that you can connect with in real life, and don't be a loner so much.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to vent.
You gotta create your own. You gotta create your own tribe.
That's right.
You create your own community.
Mm-hmm.
Get people who can understand your vision. People who you could talk to about it. Because us as creators, we can't keep that. We can't keep that shit in.
Right.
We create to give it. You know what I'm saying? To give it to the world, or give it to whoever it's for. And sometimes we talk to the wrong people about it. You know what I mean? About what
people that can't relate to them.
Yeah, just because you want to get it out. So if you do that and you're not getting a response, don't let it stop you from being a creator. Right. Don't let it stop you or slow you down. Just know in your mind that I shouldn't have told that person this. I shouldn't have shared this with them. This is not for them. This is for somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Don't take it personal. This person is not. They're not a creative, so they really can't relate to you.
Yeah.
So again, and we'll wrap this up. But we were in a production team, right? Mm-hmm. It was 6 of us at one point, right? Yep. And I learned when I met people, became super cool, met you, right? And I got inspired. Before I even met you, these other cats that we knew were playing me your music. Like, nah, this dude dope. We all gonna be in a team together. You gotta meet him. Yeah. And I was sitting there listening to it, and it was super. I just was like, whoa, how is he doing this? This is professional quality. Who is this guy? And to me,
you, my brother.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's real talk, and that's one of the things that inspired me, because you go like, okay, this person is making music at the same level to my ears as the people that I'm listening to do it professionally. So that takes it out of the realm of only these people, or I don't know anybody that's doing like this. I'm like, no, so this is more real. Yeah. So for the creatives out there, when you find people, there's people out there that are going to help you to really believe that this is 100% possible, right? Your uncle, them, not everybody's uncle, but your cousin, them, your homie, whoever it is, that's like, I don't know, man, it sounds like a long shot to me. Some of them are haters.
Yep.
Some of them just can't think on that level.
Nah.
Right? But there's so many people that are thinking past what you're even thinking. Right? There's Kanye's out there. There's Just Blazes out there. There's Alchemists. There's Beyonce's and Rihanna's. So, don't fall for the okie doke or your own lack of belief, because overthinking and lack of self-belief will throw you off your creative path.
Yeah. And there's also Dondas out there. So get you one of them and keep them by your side. That's and right. Elevate.
That's right. There's Dondas. There's Goldines. That was one of Barry White's wives. Like, there's so many people that are down to support you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man. Struggles of a creative. Yeah.
Let us know, what struggles you guys have in the comments, below, and, we could talk about them on the next topic, next time we come around on this.
Right. We might do a part 2.
Yeah. Also, like, subscribe, share this with y'all peoples, man. Helps us to keep going.
That's right.
And we thank y'all for watching. You know what I mean? Signing off, Jay Bonkers, man. Peace.
It's your boy Cell, CapCity. We out.
One. Where the hoes at?
Where the bitches, man? Where the creative bitches? Because porn stars are creative. Damn, that's one thing. Hold up, new segment. Porn stars are creative too.